lovely ladies. How are you? How are you? How are you? I hope you guys are doing well. I am excited to bring you the first episode of For Real Talk, Real Talk for wifepreneurs and mompreneurs, entrepreneur women who are serious go-getters out there. So this podcast is for you. And some of the topics that I'm going to be bringing to you include, but is not limited to, how to take care of yourself, really making sure that you're implementing self care. We're going to talk about how do you start your business, how do you monetize your your knowledge, your passion, how do you finance your business, how do you get support and help, tricks, tips, hacks, all that good stuff. And so, I'm really excited to start to kick this particular podcast off for you. Again, real talk for wifepreneurs and mompreneurs and women entrepreneurs. This is absolutely positively a conversation that you want to be part of. And so, in the next coming weeks, we're going to start going live. But right now, I'm just going to upload some of my recorded or pre recorded episodes as we start to build the platform. And so, one of the topics that I really wanted to talk about today or in this particular episode is this challenge with us as entrepreneurs finding time to get things done. Um, you know, it's interesting. It's really interesting, and I'm going to talk about it from two perspectives. I'm going to talk about it as me as a person, personally, and then I'm going to talk about it as a coach, and just as I coach other entrepreneurs, some of the common themes that I'm starting to see or that I have been seeing for quite a long time, but I wanted to talk about it. um, a lot of times when I'm talking to my entrepreneurial friends, right, I find it interesting that they will say, they get up at 4:30 in the morning, and half the time they don't go to bed till 1 or 2 o'clock at night. And I'm in my head going, okay. And they're like, yeah, they do that almost every night. And I find that weird because that means you're not getting any sleep. Like you're existing or you're trying to exist with 3 hours sleep or 2 hours sleep or 4 hours sleep. And that is nowhere near enough sleep for your body. And I've heard some women say, I'll sleep when I'm dead. That drives me nuts. And I'll tell you why. That irks me. um, and I've heard women, I don't have time for me. I don't have time for me. Even when I've coached women, and we start to brainstorm around things they can do to help manage their time, and they never put themselves in the equation. Like, what can they do for themselves? How can they get support? How can they meet their needs? It's always everybody else, their business, their kids, their husband, their church, or whatever religion or organization they belong to. Everybody else gets a part of them but them. And I always found that to be uh, irksome. It really is irksome. Sorry if you guys hear me adjusting my mic. I do apologize for that. Um, it's really irksome because I'm like, you're tired. You talk about, you can't eat, you can't sleep, or you're living off of coffee, or like you keep gaining weight because you're eating to satisfy other needs, not for nourishment. And you don't understand why it's hard to lose weight, and you don't understand why you're losing too much weight, and you don't understand why your stomach is not right. And I'm like, ladies, seriously, we have to take care of ourselves, and we have to find time. And the first thing I want to point out is that you really have to schedule in time for yourself every day. Like one of the things I know I do is like I have like about an hour or two just for myself every single day. Every single day. There's me time. Even if it's only an hour. I try to do 2 hours, but At the very minimum, I give myself an hour every single day, and I do not block anything around that, on that, for that. I do not get rid of that time unless somebody dies. Like, it has to be a huge, huge reason why I decide to give up my hour or my 2 hours. I also try to do about 4 hours every week, every bi-weekly. Um, and again, it's about your needs and your schedule. But like, I definitely don't let more than 2 weeks go by before I've had 4 full hours to myself. Whether I get a massage, whether I get a mani pedi, whether I go read, whether I go for a walk, whether I go walk around the mall, whether I go sit in a Dunkin' Donuts and drink me a cup of coffee. Like, it doesn't matter. I take time out for myself because I can't give my clients or my children or my husband or my friends or my family, I can't give nobody anything if I am not replenished and if I have not given to myself. I make sure I go to bed at a certain time. Like, I have been really good about going to bed by 11 o'clock. And actually, I try to go to bed before 11. I try to go to bed by 10:30. And that is perfect. Um, do I do that every single night? No. There are some nights, it's not the rule, mind you, it's the exception. There are some nights where I might have a late night because I'm working hard on a venture or a process or a program or with a client or whatever. And so there are some nights where I may not get to bed till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, but I stop a full cutoff. I'm not doing anything past 2 o'clock. I refuse. If at 2 o'clock, whatever I'm doing is not done, guess what? It'll have to wait till tomorrow. I refuse to go past 2 o'clock. And I think that you have to set boundaries with yourself. You have to look at your own calendar, your own needs, and look at how do I make sure I'm taking care of myself, and don't cut yourself out of care or being attended to. Um, I try to do something once a month where it's a whole weekend or at least a full 24 hours overnight thing. Whether I go to a hotel, whether I hang out with a friend overnight, whether me and my husband do something for the weekend, doesn't matter. I try to do something like that once a month. I try to do something every quarter. I try to do something every year, whether I do like a week or 2 week vacation every year. Like, you have to do something, put something in place. And it doesn't have to be elaborate. It could be a staycation. It doesn't matter. The key is putting up boundaries and doing things that allow you to take care of you. That's the key. That's the crux of it. Um, and like I said, I've talked to other women and I've heard women complain. I've had women break down and cry. I've had women tell me, how they just feel sick. And it's like, well, what are you doing for yourself? But I can't. And I'm like, you can't. What makes you think you can't? And the biggest thing that come up is that women are afraid if they don't do it, it won't get done. Women are afraid what will other people think. People will think I'm a bad mom. They'll think I'm a bad wife or a bad partner. If my house isn't clean, if I don't cook dinner, if I don't wash the clothes, if I don't do this, if I don't do that, people are going to talk about me. I'll feel bad. I'll feel guilty. It's like, you're putting more on yourself than anybody could ever put on you. Seriously. And really, it's high time that we as women stop and assess what's the truth? What's the real narrative? Is there really this expectation that you have to do it? The next thing is, what about delegating? But that's another area that I laugh at because while we can delegate, a lot of women are afraid to delegate because it's the idea it's not going to be done the way I want it done. And my thing is, dude, you're trying to find time for yourself. It really does not matter how other people do it. As long as they get it done, that's all you care about. Is it done? If you delegated a chore to be done to the husband, man, let him wash them dishes, let him sweep that floor any way that he can. Or if you did it to your spouse, whether it's your wife or your husband, doesn't matter. Depending on, what you're trying to achieve, and how your household is set up, delegate it and let that person handle it. As long as it's done. I always tell people, one plus one can equal two, but three minus one can also equal two also. Long as you get two at the end, that's all you care about. Right? Um, and I think that's an important aspect that a lot of entrepreneurial women need to figure out too, is delegate. If mom or dad want to come and help you, let them. If your sister or your cousin or your neighbor want to help you, let them. Seriously. Um, the idea is getting time back for yourself so that you can be a great entrepreneur. You can be a great mom and wife or husband or person or caregiver. It's about creating harmony, not balance. And I'm going to talk about that too. Please stop with the idea of balance. There's no such thing as work-life balance because that means that everything has equal weight, equal measure, and everything doesn't have equal weight and equal measure. The idea is to find work life integration, work life harmony. And that starts with you making choices and creating boundaries that support harmony, that support integration. Just like I said, delegating, um, taking time out for yourself, maybe hiring an assistant, even if you can only pay somebody 10 hours a month. That's 10 hours you get back for yourself to do something else. Seriously. Like I have a support professional. I have a virtual assistant. Thank you, Jessica. Love you, Jessica. Thank you, Jessica. I don't know what I would do without her. I'm telling you. She does about 20, 25 hours a month for me. And as my business pick up, I'm going to absolutely give her more hours. But at the end of the day, that's 20 hours that I don't have to worry about. That's 20 hours that I can do something else with. And that's the key thing. So if you can afford 5 hours, that's 5 hours you don't have to worry about. Seriously. Um, and I highly invite people, encourage entrepreneurs to hire support. Stop trying to do it all yourself. I know too many entrepreneurial women who do it all themselves. And I know that it might not be in your budget, but seriously, barter. I tell women all the time, you might know another woman who has a service that you need. Well, give her your service. Barter your services. Heck, I coach. Do you know how many bartering opportunities I have set up? I have helped women start their businesses. I have coached women. I have mentored women. I have done technical writing to help people get their processes and procedures in place as a bartering system or bartering tool to get another service, to get graphic design done, to get my website updated, to get some cold calling done, to get some publicity and marketing done. Like you can barter your services if you can't financially afford to get the help that you need. Um, there's so many opportunities. There's so many economical opportunities. You can go to places like Fiverr. You can talk to college students who look to make an extra couple of bucks. Even if it's about babysitting, heck, you can get somebody to babysit your kids so that you can focus on doing something else for a couple of hours. Like there's so many different tools that you can do or use to help you manage your life and your growth and your needs. There's no reason for you to say you don't have time because it's really about setting up boundaries and looking at the supports that you have in order to get the time that you need. And that's one of the things that I talk about with my coaching group of women entrepreneurs. So I do a coaching group for coaches, and I do a coaching group for women entrepreneurs through Ready Life Coaching, my company. So I have a whole subscription plan where you get the group coaching and you get one-on-one coaching and you get tools and material and information and yada yada. And we actually help each other become more focused on work life integration. You have to have that when you are an entrepreneur because you're in charge of everything when it comes to your business. And most of us are solo entrepreneurs. So you got to get help where you can get help and develop the relationships that you need and the networks that you need so that you're not an island by yourself struggling. And so that every time you're asked to participate in something or do something, you don't have the response of, I can't because I'm too busy, or I can't do self care for myself or participate in self care for myself because I'm too busy. Like that has to get out of our vocabulary as women and as entrepreneurs. And we have to be comfortable delegating, and we have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. We have to be comfortable with our house being a mess sometime. Like, and it took me a long time to get that way. And I'm not saying it's easy. Trust me, I am a neat freak. I like my house a certain way, but there has been times where there's dishes in the sink, where the floor is dirty, where the clothes ain't folded because it just couldn't be done. It just could be done at that moment. And even though these are activities that have been delegated to different family household members, we all have a life, we all get busy, stuff get behind. And you know what? I've just decided I'm not gonna do it if I can't. If I got other things that I really need to do, that's not getting done. And I don't feel guilty about it. In fact, I feel inspired, empowered, and encouraged, and I have a lot more energy because I've put up those boundaries to say, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to do it. And I'm no longer going to be a slave to my business, and I'm not going to be a slave to everybody else. I have to take care of me. Very important to take care of yourself. So, I invite you to ask yourself the question, what do you want to do differently? If you don't have enough time, how can you make time for you and for what you do and what you're passionate about? And if you're spending too much time on things that you as the CEO of your business shouldn't be focused on, or if you're spending too much time trying to figure things out instead of hiring a coach or getting a mentor or getting a support group in place, it's time you ask yourself that question. It's time that you start to focus on that. So I invite you to start focusing on that. And I keep hitting my earphones. I am so sorry, everybody. So if you keep hearing little knocks, that's me because I talk with my hands and I keep hitting my earphones. I apologize. But anyway, um, oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. So I say all that to say, sorry about that, everybody. I say all that to say it is very important for you to ask yourself that question, what can you do? What habits can you change? What habits can you break so that you can have more me time, so that you can focus on the things that are really important for you, so that you can get the help that you need, so that you could be a phenomenal entrepreneur and have work life integration and work life harmony. Um, and there's tons that you can do. And I hope that by me having this conversation through this podcast, I hope that you're going to start to see your way clear on how to be more effective in work life integration and how to delegate and how to get what you need and how to set boundaries and how to negotiate your no. I have a YouTube video on negotiating your no, so definitely watch that if you haven't. And I hope that you guys will follow me and share my podcasts and join my coaching groups, join my Facebook group. I just created a LinkedIn group. It's not active yet, but I did just create it, and I'm going to start inviting people to it. So yes, and that's going to be private, and that's really part of my paid subscription plan for my coaches and for my wifepreneurs. Those of you who pay for my subscription plan, you will be added to the LinkedIn group because that's going to be exclusive. That's the VIP group. The free group is on Facebook, so anybody can join it if you are an entrepreneur or if you are a coach, depending on which one interests you. I do have a Facebook group for both of those areas, one for coaches and one for wifepreneurs and mompreneurs. And like I said, the VIP groups are going to be on LinkedIn. So I do hope that you guys are going to help me build this channel, build this podcast. I hope that the information that I provided is very helpful to you. And I'm going to be bringing a lot more really juicy, really good stuff that we're going to be talking about. I hope to get, guests that cater to women entrepreneurs. So if you'd like to be a guest and talk about your business, I would love to highlight different businesses. So yes, come on board. If you'd like to be a sponsor of the show, contact me. If you would like to call into the show, I'm going to be doing live broadcasts really, really soon in the next couple of weeks. So there will be a login number so you can call in, you can ask your questions, especially when we start to talk about tips and tricks and things that you can do. And maybe you can call in with one of your questions or your challenges, and we'll handle it on air. Wouldn't that be great? And if you'd like to get coaching, if you'd like to get coaching directly during one of the live broadcasts, please feel free to call in. I would really, really enjoy having you on. So you can go to my website, readready.com. That's ready.com. And you can click on the reach out and you can send me an email through there. You can visit my site and see all the great stuff that's going on. Please mind you, I am changing the branding, so you're going to go to the website, in the next couple of days. It's going to be what I currently have active, but by April 1st, I will be totally brand new brand and new look and new navigation and all that good stuff. And I'm really excited to be able to bring my new brand to everybody, and it's going to be just amazing. So, I'm just letting you know the look that you see right now when you go to my website will change. I am changing it. I am streamlining it. I'm making it much more engaging and easier for you to follow and streamlining it to make a little bit more sense for my brand and for my niche market. So you will see some changes. But yes, sign up, join me, follow me at Read Ready, at Read Ready Coaching. I'm on LinkedIn at Coach Read. Twitter, I'm at Read Ready. Facebook, I'm at Read Ready. On Instagram, I'm actually changing over my account. So I'm Read Ready right now. So it's Read Ready. But the newer account, which I'm building, is Are You Read Ready? So it's at Are You Read Ready. And you can also use the hashtag Are You Read Ready. You can also use the hashtag Coach Dawn, and you should be able to find me as well. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in and listening. If you have a question, please feel free to contact me, coaching at readreadycoaching.com, or come to my website, readready.com, and, tell me what questions you'd like me to bring to the podcast. Tell me what types of topics that are important to you as an entrepreneur, as a woman, as a mom. And I will be so happy to provide some answers and some thoughts and all that good stuff. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. Again, please share, please subscribe, please follow, please like. I appreciate it. The more people who sign on and follow, the more the information is going to get out there. So thank you guys so much. Go out there, create awesome sauce for yourself and for others.